What's up, amazing? Thanks for tuning in today. It's Coach Ed, and this is Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Now, today I'm going to be talking about this man right here, Kyler Murray, and his contract. He recently signed a new contract, $230 million, between himself and the Arizona Cardinals. It's a great contract. Most of us would love the opportunity to sign a contract like that. Can't be mad at that. Go get your money. I have an issue with what was leaked. There is an addendum or special clause in his contract, that stipulates that he needs to independently review films 4 hours per week during the season for the upcoming game. Not bye weeks, but the upcoming game. I was watching ESPN's Get Up Today, and I read an article in reference to this. And the bottom line, I think that not that there's a clause in the contract. I get it. Teams need to do things to motivate and help players stay on course. It happens all the time. Contract negotiations, whether it's in the NFL, major corporations, or the average Joe signing up on a job somewhere. There are stipulations in the contracts. So I can't be mad per se at that, but it's releasing the information. How are you going to release the information? Because that disrespects that man. That creates a level of distrust between himself, the organization, the coaches, his teammates. He makes a mistake. Did he really watch film? Did he really put in simply 4 hours? Other guys on the team may be putting in way more hours to be prepared. What are you doing there? I understand players rely on their talent. Some players rely on their talents. I've seen it. I've coached it. I've also coached players who do the work, put in the preparation. As a former player, I was fairly talented, but I still learned to put in the preparation, watching film, going over reports, everything to give myself an advantage. Because that's what this is all about. Just what you can do to prepare yourself, excuse me, so you can give yourself an advantage. Some players have just been gifted enough that their talents supersede all that. And most coaches will tell you if they had a team full of talented players like that could just go out there and perform and they don't need to really prepare, they would take that any day. But the releasing of that, what does that do within that locker room, man? What does that say across the league about Arizona? It opens up Pandora's box. Would I ever want to go there? Would they release my information like that? What are other teams looking at? If they don't do things like that, they put that in there. Now they can possibly release the information. Players are going to be upset. Is that a violation of the collective bargaining? Can the union fight that? I don't know, but I think it's disrespectful to that man. It's very demeaning. It makes him seem like he's a little high school kid because high school coaches do that. Make sure Joe is out there watching film. Nowadays you have the technology with Huddle and the different sources out there that you can see how many hours a player puts in watching film, studying. But let's be real. How do you know that he's honestly studying? It's supposed to be independent. I mean, the clause says it's an independent study addendum. It says, according to the contract, and I'm reading from ESPN.com. According to the contract, Murray will need to study material provided to him by the club in order to prepare for the club's next upcoming game. He'll receive credit for completing the film study, and if he doesn't, he's in violation of his contract. And I interpret that to mean that, if he doesn't do it, his contract is void. So then he loses all that money. I mean, it's crazy. Number one, to release that information. I get it. I mean, I don't like hearing that, and if contracts across the league don't have addendums like this, then this opens up because there's a precedent that is now set, and teams will start using this in other contracts. But like I said, there are specific clauses in contracts, and it's been like that for years. But to release the information, and I'm not talking about the money. We all know the money is always released. Players don't care. They get that out there themselves. Teams get that out there because it goes hand in hand. If you see a player makes that much kind of money, a lot of players, will watch him and want to go play with him. Leagues will say, teams, I'm sorry, will say, you see, we pay our players, so other players are going to want to come to that organization. But to release the clauses publicly so the whole world can see it, talk about it, debate it, I have an issue with that. Arizona, you've lost my respect greatly. Thought you guys were headed in the right direction. But something as like this to the number one overall draft pick, you drafted him number one. You fired a coach and brought in another coach from college because he was geared towards him. He would get the best out of him. Funny thing is, that coach and Kyler Murray both have the same agent. So everything is correlating into one. He even brought in players like DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans to put the resources around him. And you go and do something like this, leaking that information. I have lost all respect for Arizona. I could never want to be associated with a management group, ownership group like that. Not me. Not me. I wouldn't care if you said you would pay me to scrub your toilets. No, no, not me. Not with Arizona. As I said, I lost all the respect for them. So you guys let me know what you think. Am I going to the extreme with this? Am I off base? You know. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about. While watching ESPN today in First Take and Get Up, Ryan Clark presented something that initially I didn't put into my head, but it did have me thinking, wondering, is it because he's a black quarterback? Is it because years past black quarterbacks were thought to not be smart? They wouldn't work hard. They don't have what it takes. You don't see stuff like this being leaked out for other quarterbacks in terms of their contracts, the clauses. Number one overall draft picks, white number one overall draft pick quarterbacks. I've never seen this, heard of this. So when Ryan Clark said that, it did have me thinking, And I'm not one to usually get into the race debate. I'm not. I take everybody on their own accord, not because of their color of their skin, but because of their actions. In Arizona, your actions right now are leaving me to wonder, is it a racial thing? Are you really putting that type of stigma on this man? I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm going off base. Maybe I'm going to the extreme. Amazings. You let me know what you think. Tell me what you feel, how you feel about the situation. What are your opinions? I like to hear about it. If you're new to my channel, definitely please, you know, let me know what you think. Doesn't matter if you disagree, if you want to be critical, just, let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Everyone like, share on all your social media platforms. I appreciate everything you guys do to help me. the Big Blue Crew, your support for everything. I thank everyone. Well, that's it right now for my little rant. Thanks for indulging it. Um, I'll be back later on posting other content. But in closing, like I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Stay safe. Peace and blessings always.